the suck. It's coming for you. You can run from it, or you can turn around and kick it in the fucking teeth. You get to choose. Let's go. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Derek's Live, a podcast for badass parents. I'm going to be your host, Sean, and I'm here with my other host, your other host, the hostess with the mostest, Emily. That was perfect timing. That was perfect timing. How are you today, babe?
I am good. Ready for bed, but I'm good.
You're not ready for bed. Please don't be ready for bed.
Okay.
You know how that is, right? It's like, oh, you can't be like ready for bed. Ready for bed, yeah, but not ready for bed. No. Well, guys, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
We feels like it's been like a month, but we've skipped 1 week.
1 week.
And it feels like we were just gone forever. I don't know why.
Well, because it felt like forever. Everything happened, it seemed like, over the last week and a half. So, we...
What happened?
Well, we had all kinds of craziness with family, and that was at the end of our last podcast. We were talking about memorial services and court for family members and meetings and this and that and everything under the sun.
It's very busy.
It was very busy.
Very traumatic and draining.
Very.
And then we went in right into you being sick.
Yeah. So I woke up Saturday before Thanksgiving with like a little bit of a sore throat. And by noon I was like hitting a wall.
Yeah. It was bad.
It was so bad.
Where'd mom go? She's in the room sleeping,
Yeah.
which doesn't ever happen.
No, like almost 104 fever. It would break for a minute and then it would come right back. It was so hard.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
Well,
I mean, it wasn't rough for me. It was rough for you.
You were handling all the other stuff.
Well, no, I mean, it just, you don't ever like hit a wall like
No.
that. You usually push through whatever it is.
Yeah. And I finally got a doctor's appointment right before Thanksgiving, got on some medicine, started to feel a little bit better on Thanksgiving. And I probably overdid it. And we went and traveled and did the whole family thing and the whole long day. And by Friday, I was not okay.
You were having a hard time breathing?
Yeah.
So you had like this, so we had a party at the house for the Florida State game, which Florida lost. We won't talk about that.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the Florida State fans. You guys played a good game. It was fair and square, minus a little bit of refereeing. But,
Yeah.
It was a great game. But anyway, so we had this big party. All these people were supposed to come over, and Emily's like, "Hey, I think I need to go to the ER."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Seriously?"
It's like in the afternoon, I caught up and I was like, I think it's time. I need to go see something because I'm not okay.
Well, I'm glad you did. You were having a hard time.
I hadn't eaten in several days.
She was like, after the game, I think I'm going to go to the ER. I'm like, no, if it's bad enough, you should probably go.
Yeah. And I did. And 2 hospitals later, and they wanted to transport me by ambulance. I had a peritonsillar abscess, and that was gnarly. So I went to the first hospital and they didn't have an ENT on call. So they wanted to transfer me to a different hospital. And I waited in the next hospital for hours waiting for the ENT to get there. And then you're awake for this little surgery that they do. And they basically sit you upright and stab you with a 5-inch needle and then slice the back of your throat open with a scalpel. It was great.
It does not sound like fun.
No. So
but
it's
you
been
seem
rough.
to be much better
Yeah.
since.
So I'm still on some medication and some antibiotics, but it was really hard because, and we haven't really talked about this on our podcast, but I was about 3.5, 4 weeks into something called 75 Hard.
Yeah.
And if you've not heard of that, I challenge you to go look it up because it's intense, but it's amazing. But it's this program to kind of get your mind right in addition to your life right. And it involves like 2 workouts a day, following a diet, reading a book, and you do all of these things every single day. So you have to do like 2 45-minute workouts. You have to read 10 pages a day. You have to drink a gallon of water. You have to
No alcohol,
follow a diet, whatever diet fits your lifestyle. And there's something else. One of the workouts has to be outside, 2 45-minute workouts separate. And I felt like I was kicking. I was doing so good. It's probably the longest I've stuck to anything like that.
Yeah, you were on like day 30 or so, weren't you?
I was 4 weeks in. I was a month
I had
in.
started over and was kind of trying to play catch up. The hard part is if you miss one thing, you have to start completely over.
Yep.
And for like the one of the exercises, you have to work out twice a day, 45 minutes each, and one of them has to be outside. So like you've got to be super purposeful. And I'm not a good planner, and I messed it up. So I had to start over. And so Emily was way, way further ahead than I was. And then the holidays got here, and I was like, well, I'm gonna have Thanksgiving dinner. And so I messed up Thanksgiving, and then
and I couldn't eat. So
yeah, and you couldn't eat.
So, but it was really hard because I had done all of this work and really had put in so much effort to get so sick and then not be able to physically do anything.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even a matter, like even the very first day that I was sick, that Saturday that I was like, oh my God, this wall, like I came home, I had a fever. That night I still did yoga.
Yeah.
Like I still did my morning workout before anything happened. And then I came home and rested in the afternoon. But that day I even did a night workout. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like dying.
Well, yeah, like the one day we went for a walk as a family and you were having a hard time.
Yeah,
so.
I was like having a hard time breathing. Yeah. So that was a little bit like I have done all this effort and this strength training to be here where I'm at today. Like I'm struggling fatigue wise just to be outside walking.
Well, and then like before Thanksgiving, Tuesday kind of came around, and we typically record our podcast on Tuesdays, but you couldn't talk.
Right.
And so there was no recording that wasn't happening.
Yeah.
So we just kind of resolved that, hey, we were going to miss the holiday episode. And so we kind of felt like we were in this stride with that. And then you were in your stride with 75 Hard. And
we kind of gotten like a momentum with all of our socials.
Yeah.
Like we were hitting 1,000.
We're like almost right at 1,000 members on Facebook and a couple thousand views on YouTube. Thank you guys so much, by the way, for supporting. If you're listening to this right now, do us a huge, huge favor. Guys, we're not making any money off of this right now. We're just trying to add value to your life and just pour into you and share the information that we're going out and chasing right now. And we hope that it's doing that for you. If it's doing that, do us a favor and just hit the share button, share the podcast somewhere, Facebook, YouTube, throw it up on a link on your Instagram, whatever that looks like. Even just leaving a 5-star review with a review does a great help for us on Spotify and Apple Podcast. It pushes us up the charts. So all that stuff helps. But thank you guys so much for just being here. It's appreciated.
So, but we say all that to talk about our episode today because we've done all of this work. We've been hitting our stride. We've been doing the hard stuff in the background, only for the suck to kind of just find us and hunt us down. It always finds
you, doesn't it? Like it seems like just when everything's going like really well is when suck shows up. And it's never when it's convenient. Like it's never when you're already like, no, I'm going to sit on the fucking couch and do nothing.
Yeah.
It's not then that suck shows up. It's when you're like staying up till 2 a.m. cutting videos and trying to make content and doing marketing and all that shit that sucks like, oh, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
So it's it's been hard because we both kind of hit a mental wall and a physical wall kind of at the same time.
Very much so. And it kind of went vice versa. I think you kind of hit a mental wall first, and then the physical came, and I had really like kind of gotten a stride and then hit the physical wall. And then I just kind of fell into this funk. Like, oh, I've done all this work and now I can't move. Like I was so sick.
So I love like Stuman calls it force of average, right?
Yep.
But I refer to it as the suck a lot. And so that's kind of what we're running with. But it just seems like it's the probability that like when you're trying to do something good and trying to move the needle forward, that's when adversity shows up, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what we're talking about here. It's just you ever like just feel like everything's going fucking wrong and nothing can go right. And like sometimes you just want to like, I was recording this video the other day. I don't even know where we were supposed to talk about this in the episode, but I was recording this video the other day. I'm in solar, and right now there are some changes in our industry that are forcing us to be a little bit more creative, mainly on the financial side of things. And so trying to go get some more clients and get opportunities to tell more people about the product that we offer. So if you're looking for solar, hit me up in the inbox. But I was outside. We have solar on our home. And so I was shooting some content videos to do some marketing with. And I've been telling myself like for 2 weeks that I'm gonna go out and shoot these videos, and I'm finding a fucking excuse every time not to go do it. And I was finally like, there was nobody home. It was just me. And I was like, no, I'm doing it today. I'm going to get this shit done. And so I set the tripod up and throw the gimbal on the tripod and take everything outside and get everything set up. And like right away, the freaking train starts going by. We live like a mile from a really busy CSX track. Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Freightliner track. And it's not close enough to hear like the rumble of the train, but there's a crossing and they blow the horns like
nonstop.
And at first it drove me crazy. Now I love it. It just makes me feel like I'm at home. But it was right in the middle of this video. So I started over, and then this stupid fly kept landing on my head. And then the neighbor's car alarm went off, which we live in the middle of nowhere. Like we live in the country. We've got one neighbor that you can even see their house, and their car alarm started going off. It was just like one thing after another. Like it was everything in me not to pick up the tripod and just like bat my phone into the side of the house. I was so pissed. So instead of like losing my shit, I had to like kind of step back. Cause like, no, I'm not letting suck get me. You know, and you get to choose how you respond. Like that's just the reality of it, right? I mean, what did you do the first day you started feeling better? Like the first day you were able to get up, what did we do?
We went for a walk.
We went for a walk.
We went to 2 different nature parks. We went and found the botanical gardens with the girls, and then we found a Ninja Warrior playground, and we went walking all day long.
Well, like it wasn't super easy. You could have laid up and said like, no, I'm going to sit here and feel like shit and feel sorry for myself, or I can get out and go get some fresh air and feel better. Yeah. Right.
So, and like even that day, like I still couldn't eat. We ended up going to a restaurant. I was like, okay, can we go get a smoothie now? Cause like it literally feels like the back of my throat is just cut open.
Well, because it is.
So I was like, can we just go get a smoothie? But we did. We walked around, and it was like, again, it's a choice, right? It would have been really easy to just lay on the couch and watch a movie or sleep or feel sorry for myself. But I felt so much better outside in the fresh air and seeing our girls play in the botanical gardens and explore the flowers and like what that meant and what it stood for and why we did, and like seeing all the different bamboo, and then talking about the Buddha statues and having those sweet moments of like, because we walked through the botanical gardens and there was a little Buddha statue, and you know, we raise our children Christian, but it was really cool to have that experience and for you to explain to them, like, there's offerings at this little statue and we don't touch this stuff, and have that sweet moment. And we could have missed all of that opportunity because I wasn't feeling great.
It was this cool opportunity, like just to And let's dive a little deeper in that because we weren't going to go into this.
No.
But I think it's a unique opportunity. So we're in there's a bamboo garden at this botanical garden that we have locally. And there's several Buddha statues set up throughout this bamboo garden. And people have left offerings, some of it financial, some of it trinkets,
like
different things.
Beads and little statues and like coins, not anything crazy.
Oh, but as a fucking toddler, like their first instinct was to run up and like treasure. Oh, what is this? Somebody left us something to play with.
Yeah.
And so it was this really cool moment where we got to pull them back and say, hey, listen, like that's not for you. That's someone, we need to respect that. And we explained to them, listen, this isn't something we believe in, but just because we don't believe in it doesn't mean that we don't have to respect it.
That's
and
right.
like we should still respect other people's things and the way that they think. We're not going to mess with it and we're going to show it reverence because it means a lot to them.
Yeah.
So it was just really awesome moment that we would have missed out on how we just said, no, I think we're just going to stay home and feel sorry for ourselves today.
Yeah.
And that's everything, guys. Like you get to choose how you react and how you respond to the things that are going on in your life. And at the end of the day, you're responsible for your reaction. At the end of the day, if you just lay up and bitch and moan and feel sorry for yourself and make every excuse for the way things didn't go your way, then you deserve whatever happens to you.
And it's really easy to bitch and moan and complain, right? What's the first thing you want to do when you felt like you've done everything you could have and the chips still didn't fall your way? Like, I just want to get on the phone and yell at somebody. I just want to bitch. Throw my hands
in the air and say, fuck it.
Yeah, I'm going to go lay on the couch and have a drink and I'll deal with it tomorrow or I won't. But the reality is you are setting the example, you are setting the legacy for not only your life, but the lives of your children.
Oh man, aren't they watching? They are watching
they don't miss a beat.
Every moment, man. And they see how you react to those situations. When suck catches up to you and you let suck smack you in the fucking face and slap you on the floor and you lay there and flap for a little bit, your kids see that.
Yeah.
They see the tantrum. They see the way you react. And you're teaching them that that's okay. And so when your toddler is upset and they throw themselves on the fucking floor and get upset, don't get mad. That's what they just saw dad do. That's what they just saw mom do. You made it okay. And so they're watching everything that you do. And it will speak fucking volumes to your children when something doesn't go your way and you keep your shit together and say, hey, you know what? That's okay. We're going to try again.
Yeah.
That is what creates champions. That is what creates children who will grow and turn into functional monsters in society who will go out and get everything that they deserve for themselves.
So, and we were talking as we prepared for this episode and just the realization of all the stuff that we probably didn't learn last week with me being sick because we homeschool and we didn't do a lot of worksheets or any worksheets, but like the tangible life skills, I wasn't feeling great. I didn't have a lot of energy. And our 7-year-old took it upon herself to like, how can I help you? Let me unload the dishwasher. Let me take the garbage out. And like the pride on her face as she could, like she took the garbage out on her own without ever like no fuss and put a bag in when she was done and went outside like, hey dad, look what I'm doing.
Yeah. I was outside working on something and she'd come out like, look dad, I got the garbage. I'm doing it. And then she was like, hey, can you come open the garbage can? And she couldn't lift the bag up. It was too heavy to get it into the garbage can. She was trying to fling it and it like hit her in the head. I was like, no, baby, let me help you. But she was so proud. Like, and it's because like we're pushing our children to be their own person and have their own responsibilities and skill sets that they're able to step into those things.
Well, and in addition to that, to see where someone else is. And it's not always about you and your problems, but sometimes there's other people that need a little bit of extra help. And what a lesson in sympathy and empathy that they are learning, I mean, really from the ground up in the most tangible way to help mom and dad. Because, as a child, mom and dad do just about everything for you. And for them to be able to give back, there is such a sense of pride and accomplishment. Like, hey, I'm big. I can help you. Yeah. I can do this for you. Let me help you. And allowing them. And so let me step back because Mom has a little bit of OCD. The forks have to go a certain way in the drawer.
I wish I could be inside of your head sometimes.
Oh, no, you don't. I assure you don't. But moms and dads out there, if you are struggling with your little ones putting away the mess in not the right way.
Ooh, I'm going to scoot over here and move my
I encourage you to see it from their vantage point for just a minute, because I get it. I want the messes to be put away the right way. I have the boxes labeled. There's pictures on all of the toy bins.
The running joke in our marriage has been about label makers because Emily owns way too many fucking label makers. Way too many label makers. You need one label maker, ladies. No, look at me. One label maker is all the label makers that are required.
There's a label maker that you label like jars and stuff, but then like you need a different label maker to do fabric bins, and then okay. I will do a separate podcast on all the different label makers and their purposes. And I will do like never mind. Anyways. So, but from that vantage point of mom trying to get everything perfect, right? I want the things to be put away. From our 7-year-old's vantage point and from our 5-year-old's vantage point, it's not always practical. I can't always do it to your standard, but I can do this. I can do that. And so instead of robbing them of the little bit of success they are getting because it's not perfect, allow them the freedom to put things away in their best ability. And it's okay to coach them. It's okay to encourage them. It's okay to correct them in kindness, but allow them to feel that sense of accomplishment, because you don't want to rob them of that, because then they'll never want to help you. Yeah. And they'll never want to help themselves. And seeing the day that our 7-year-old unloaded the dishwasher, I sat back on the couch almost in tears because I couldn't talk. I was having a hard time even swallowing at this point. I was like just miserable, so upset. It's Thanksgiving. I wanted to be doing fun things with our family. And instead, I can barely move.
Yeah.
And seeing the pride on her face and in her body language, I can do this. And she pulled the stool over and to set everything up. And was it perfect? No, but it was way more that I could do in that moment. And she saw me in my hurt and in my weakness. And instead of going off and playing and being just being a 7-year-old, mm-hmm. I can help mom. Let me do this for you. I know that you're struggling. Let me help you. And you don't know our 7-year-old personally, probably, but I can tell you that is a very much a learned behavior because of the values that we've instilled in her. That empathy doesn't come naturally to her, but seeing it grow and flourish in her is worth 1,000 textbooks to me, because it's showing that human connection, because there was a fear, and even some doctors had mentioned she might struggle socially mm-hmm. with those emotional cues. And she did for a short time, especially in public school. She really didn't understand the social emotional connection. But that one instant, my mom is hurting, I can't do everything for her, but I can do this. I can do something. And that's one of our principles. That's one of our non-negotiables, is do something. Mm-hmm. And she took it upon herself to do something. And it was wild just to see the accomplishment in her.
It's really beautiful to see your kids live out these values that you're building in them, and to see them own their process and walk through it without being prompted. Yeah. Right? It's one thing when you're pushing it and reminding them and ingraining that in them. It's a whole nother thing when it just comes natural.
Yeah.
And it's just oh, this is just who I am.
Yeah.
Right. You got to be purposeful about it, guys. This is raising good humans is not something that happens on accident.
No,
it's not something that happens on accident. Most of the people in your life that probably don't meet that standard. And that's just the reality of it. Like, we all fall short in different ways. What separates the people who get further in life than the people that don't are the people that had to figure out how to make up their fucking shortcomings. How do I go in and fix this shitty person that I am, that my parents failed to craft, right? Because our job as parents is ultimately to be the architects of our children, and to design and build and help nurture humans who become good humans. And that doesn't happen on accident. It's very much on purpose. It's very much something that you have to go out and have a process and thought behind. And so one of the things that I want to encourage you today is, as things are getting hard and as it seems like there's no hope for whatever you want to do and whatever you're pushing for, that the suck tries to catch up on you. Take a moment, have your moment, right? We need to have our moment sometimes. Yeah. But don't let your moment rule and push into your day to day, right? That you hang up the phone with whoever you're upset at, or
call the friend that's going to tell you what it is.
Call the friend that's going to tell you what it is, or whatever you need. Go to your place, take 5 minutes, scream in the closet, tell the world to fuck off, and go back out there and fucking crush it. Get back on the horse and respond well.
Yeah.
Because they're watching. And if you flail on the floor for too long, that habit becomes generational.
Yeah.
And you're passing that shit on, and you're building a loser. And I'm not building losers. I'm building winners.
So, and it's, again, we say this all the time. This is not easy. This is the hard way to do this.
It would be so much easier to just be like, hey, what are we doing today?
Yeah.
Like, what's going to be the fun thing all the time, right? It'd be so much easier to not think about this and just go about life and work your 9 to 5 and never amount to anything except for what society has told you should. That would be the easy thing to do. Let's lay up, go get a corporate 9 to 5, maybe make, 70, 80K a year apiece, let someone else raise our children. That sounds way fucking easier than this. Way fucking easier. That sounds like vacation.
Yeah.
But that doesn't serve them.
No.
It doesn't serve our legacy, and it doesn't serve their legacy. That creates average people, and we are not average.
And they're not average. And they already at 2, 5, and 7 know that they are not average. Not average. They will not settle for average at this point.
Tell them all the time, you're not normal. Go do it. But they're doing it. No, you're not normal. Go do that. Yeah. That's not what we're doing. So set yourself apart, pick yourself up off the fucking floor, and go get back to work. Don't let suck get you.
So, fuck your excuses, guys.
Hey, don't forget that Jesus fucking loves you. Even if you don't like cussing, he does. I promise. And it doesn't matter what you did, what you're doing, where you're going. He still loves you. Deuces. Oh, that's the wrong song. That's the wrong song. Let's do this one.